Coaching Girl. Today I'm going to be talking to you about guilt. Yes, guilt. Guilt is a heavy topic. I believe that as a survivor of losing two loved ones, that sometimes our brain rationalizes how we could have done something different and we feel guilty. An example I'd like to share with you today is when my 17-year-old sister passed away, I was definitely in a mode of guilt. I was guilty, thinking I should have asked her to babysit for me. I should have given her a ride. There are so many different things that went through my mind as far as feeling guilty at how I could have prevented the fatal accident from happening. How about you? Is there something that you feel guilty about of losing your loved one? Maybe it's guilty that you didn't act kind, or maybe you're guilty because you thought they didn't know how much you loved them, or maybe something different. All of these factors are normal. When we grieve, our brain actually goes into a different way of neurological changes. I didn't know that in my early part of my grieving. I didn't realize that the neurological changes that were happening in my brain sometimes made my brain almost like it was on repeat. It was stuck. There were certain things that would replay over and over in my mind, and I wasn't clear on why this was happening. Permanent stress through grief is a normal activity. It happens. But what we don't understand is that when you offer a creative way to process your grief, something changes in the brain. That's how Good Grief Coaching Girl started. When I started my therapy through gardens, I started using my garden as my therapy, and I would actually work in the soil, work in the garden, and use my hands, and it changed the way my brain activity was functioning. I find it very fascinating, and in no way I'm a brain expert, but I do know that I am a grief expert, and so I hope that these tips that I'm sharing with you on how I personally have recovered from my loss will help you. So there's simple steps in that. One of the things I'd like to encourage you with your guilt and grief today is that you would journal it. That you would journal how you're feeling, what you wish you could have done different. Exactly everything that you feel, write it down. If you can't write it down, draw a picture. In any way you can, physically get a way to get your body in motion of how you are feeling. Secondly, I'd like you to please find someone to chat with. Yes, it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be a trusted source, it could be something that you record and talk to yourself. But the bottom line is, by you getting it out and talking about your guilt will totally help you in processing where you are currently. These tips are simple tips. I would also recommend, if you haven't yet, to get into a support group. There's so many support groups that are out there that can help you in getting through your loss. I know in my early stages of my grief that finding a support group really did help me. Here at Good Grief Coaching Girl, we are all about providing resources for you. But in the meantime, these are some simple tips I wanted to share with you today about guilt. You're not alone. I'm Elizabeth, the Good Grief Coaching Girl. Thank you for joining our community, for being a part of our community, and for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it's helpful. Also, check us out on our Instagram, our Facebook, and also our Twitter. And if you need anything, DM us, share with us, send us an email, and we will get back to you. Be well, be safe, can do, so can you. See you in the community.